Thank you.
Thank you.
John Klaassen and Jason Stockberger on deck.
Good morning, Representative Van Adder. I have some copies here for the committee. May I submit them?
Yes.
Again, good morning. My name is John Klaassen. I'm from Noble County, House District 82, Senate District 13. I'm grateful to Representative Lehman and others, including Dave Abbott from my district, for quickly putting together a stopgap bill to protect my job. There is no right more intimate and fundamental than the right to choose what is directly injected into your body. As a people, if we do not very clearly discern when it is truly appropriate to mandate, then we stand to repeatedly lose additional fundamental rights under similar cloudy circumstances until we are no longer a free people. Our government is built upon a system of checks and balances. What we have learned the hard way so far is that declarations of emergency, executive orders, and one-size-fits-all public health policies lack this vital principle. Today, I humbly request that the committee and the entire state legislature consider the following common sense emergency Bill of Rights. I'm going to go quickly here. I have a lot more detail that I've been happy to share, but I'm going to keep it short. Number one, public health mandates shall be adjudicated with strict scrutiny, not just rational grounds. Rational grounds, Justice Stevens called barely any review at all. Public health mandates shall require 2/3 majority of both houses and be renewed every 60 days. We cannot afford a single executive and their unelected bureaucrats to have such power over our freedoms. Public health mandates shall require civil liability, not immunity. Be inclusive as well. They should apply to all citizens and not very equally, and apply to government officials and their families, appointed bureaucrats, lobbyists, etc., and illegal aliens. We know these groups are excluded. That's really not fair. They should require dominant evidence, that not from vested interests but independent parties, that the mandate requirement has a significant efficacy against spread. We know the COVID vaccines do not, and we have 400 studies in this sheet here to show you that. They should not be justified by personal risk or indirect impacts. We don't mandate motorcycles, bike helmets, our diets, smoking, exercise, or other risky habits. They should be narrowly applied to stratified cohorts. Based on clear dominant evidence, they should only be applied to those at reasonable risk. We know that COVID is not an equal risk for all cohorts. In the case of where testing is part of the protocol, it should be equally applied to anyone who is shown to substantially transmit the contagion. That includes the vaccinated, we know. It should require the cost of testing to be paid for those who mandate with tangible penalties, financial, or threaten our jobs. They should pay for those tests. 10, require employers to exempt workers who primarily work remotely. And I hear my time is up, so I will go quickly. Please permit religious exemptions without question. Consider natural immunity. There's 141 studies that show it's very viable. It should not have a deadline. Require the use of a generally accepted adverse tracking event system that our medical community just doesn't pass by and give us excuses for. And finally, abide by the Nuremberg Code. In wrap up, I want to address three important influencers. The business community. It seems the Indiana Chamber, Indy Chamber, and Indiana Lodging and Restaurant Association mysteriously shared the same exact talking points on November 23. They all stated that they know better about my health than I do. We understand that you wield a lot of influence with our elected officials through relationships and contributions. For some legislators, this may drown out their constituents, but consider this. A significant portion of 3.3 million people in the Indiana workforce across all 92 counties stand today to tell you that you will be disrupted one way or another, and that will not be in the best interest of your companies that you represent. The medical community, and I'm going to wrap up, sorry. The medical community, you've lost our trust. Accusing us of merely being misinformed isn't fair. You refuse to answer the tough questions, censor and threaten those with diverse and credentialed medical opinions. No way, and that's in no way going to win over critical thinkers. In fact, it suggests that you are scared, weak, and wrong. Legislators, We are sorely disappointed with your outcomes, especially with the supermajority. Your bills have been weak to protect us. Republicans, you behave as if there is a two-party system within your own ranks, a house divided. We already hear the talking points, excuses against strong legislation, yet other states are doing what you refuse to do. Why? We hear you claim that you should be careful not to regulate businesses, but you do it all the time. The decision is simple. You protect individual rights before you protect the employers. That's your job. After all, they're just mini governments. Finally, know this, voters who lose their jobs, careers, and livelihoods because you fail to defend the Constitution will have the time and the energy and the anger to hold you very accountable. Those who have directly or indirectly experienced other harms, such as adverse side effects, will also be slow to forget who failed them. I have attached 18 references, which actually ends up being 550. And then for my friends on the internet, if you'd like what I read, I have it here. Thank you for your time. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Klaassen. Any questions from the committee? Thank you. Jason. This isn't the time or place for clapping. We're just doing testimony. Jason Stockburger with James Bopp Jr. on deck.
Yeah, my name is Jason Stockburger. I live and work in Howard County.